Alright, so I just beat Yakuza 4, trudging our way through the series. I don't have any of my own gameplays, so I'm just using, as you can see his name right here, um, iCure, I think, iCure Gaming. So that's what I'm going to do for this. Yeah. So I just beat Yakuza 4, um, and this is an interesting part of the series. I wonder what the percentage rate of people dropping off the series is going from Kiwami 2. Like people that are doing like a modern introduction, so going from 0 to Kiwami 1, 2, and then onward. I wonder what the drop off rate is, because I can definitely tell that if you're not someone who's really invested in this story, I can see people sort of falling off. Also, I don't have my normal microphone, so I'm just using my headset once. That's why it sounds kind of like shit. But yeah. So, Yakuza 4, I liked it. I liked it more than 3. And I think something I was sort of thinking about. Um, 3, 4, and 5 are definitely the most polarizing, I think, in the series. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you either love these games or you think that they're super slow and kind of mid, right? That's usually like the two opinions I see. And I think that's because with a series like Yakuza, where every game is pretty good, people and sort of take very strong stances one way or the other. When in reality, all these games are just pretty all right or pretty decent, right? Um, but it just when talking about Yakuza 4, I liked it. So obviously there are four playable characters here. You're seeing Akiyama right now, who might be my favorite. I think so. I think him and Tanamura are my favorite. Sajima, I admire just because I know he's going to play a much larger part in the series going forward. But like being in the prison and stuff, I didn't really care. Like I didn't like it all that much. And Kiryu is such a lot of people joke that he's like a side character. He's really only in the game for a couple hours at the end. Um, I guess unless you spend a whole bunch of time in his side doing all the side quests. But yeah. So all the individual characters I liked. I this game felt like it went by quicker than Yakuza 3, which is weird because I definitely spent more time on this game. Um, and it was not as weird as I thought it would be, sort of going through all the individual characters. When I initially played Yakuza 0, there was a lot of adjusting I had to do of like trying to remember everyone's name and untangling this web of a story. And I think that wasn't an issue in Kiwami 1 and 2 and 3, or Pirate Yakuza, which are the games I've played so far. But in this game, I definitely was like, oh shit, like who are these characters? Like trying to remember the overall plot because there are a lot of moving parts here with these four different characters. There are so much going on. I'm not really going to be telling too much spoilers. Like I'll mention the end, but other than that, there won't be really too much spoilers. I think I'm gonna have a couple negatives that I do want to mention. Actually, I have a Google Doc here. Hold up. You flashed on screen for a second, but that's not for Yakuza 4. I started actually writing things down because before I wasn't doing that, but I was like, there are things I sort of want to make sure I mention. Um, and sort of talking about the characters, Akiyama is such a nice change of pace. Not playing as a Yakuza and sort of just playing as like this rich guy who's charismatic. I really liked him, and I think his fighting style was also really fun. Um, Tanemura, I also thought was a really interesting character. Playing as like a cop for the first time in the series. Like I haven't played Judgment or anything like that yet, so it was sort of cool playing as like a cop, even though he's not really the your average cop, right? He's sort of uh is more so doing things his own way. But I think those two characters were the standout for me. Akiyama specifically, I think I really liked from the start. I liked his personality. I thought his voice actor was really good, and yeah, I think I do have some issues when it comes to these characters and the world in general. I think the first thing is that the writing of the main story is good, like always, but I don't remember if it was like this in 3. I mean, the sub stories in 3 aren't really great. I think most people know that. But in this game, it's not that they're bad. It's just that their writing is so mediocre and the characters are very much so just spewing a line to you to then get you to do a sub story. Which I know when I say that it's like we had no shit, but like there's very little personality in some cases, and the plot armor is like insane. Which I know is funny talking about plot armor with Yakuza because like you can get shot 3 times and be fine a second later. Like plot armor is almost like a joke in this series, but At least when it comes to the sub stories, like usually I feel like in the other games, Kiryu is sort of using his charm and his charisma or just his character that we've all come to love to get him to these scenarios. Where in this time it is sort of like you're walking into a thing, a guy says something, and you're like, all right, well, this is my problem now. Or like there are times when maybe you'll have to convince somebody, and you don't even have to convince them. It's like they'll just end up agreeing with you anyway, or sort of out of nowhere, even if it goes against everything they've said before. And it made a lot of the sub stories in this game feel like checking off boxes, which I think they feel like that in every game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But in this game, I was not invested in them really at all. I think each character has like one or two like big sub stories, like multiple parts where there is sort of some story to it, and those ones are fun. But sort of like the very menial, maybe reintroducing characters from previous games, stuff like that, sub stories that you do, I wasn't really too big of a fan of. And sort of talking about characters and their portrayal, I'm gonna get woke here, guys. I apologize. But Hannah or Hana-chan, whatever, your secretary, I didn't really give a fuck about, and her existing essentially solely as a fat joke was just boring and lame. Like I'm not gonna be here and be like, it's absolutely unacceptable. It just wasn't funny, and it was sort of just like, okay, dude. It's like every scene she was in, there was a joke about her, eating or oh, let's go get food or I'll bribe you to do this for food. And then even at the end, okay, spoilers, you can skip ahead like 30 seconds. I'm gonna make this quick. She like loses weight, and it's like I don't know. It just feels very weird to me and very like Japanese sort of like harsh body standards. Like, oh, look at this fat character. Oh, it's so funny how she eats a lot. Just really cringe and lame. I liked her as a character. Like, I think when there are these little instances of her personality coming out, I liked it. But I think that is kind of overshadowed by just like, haha, look, she's fat, type thing. Um, and then I think the last thing, I guess, with the overall like world is Akiyama and Tanamura should know who Kiryu is. Akiyama actually does know who he is. Mentions him multiple times in his part of the story, but then when they meet him, like when they see him for the first time, they have no idea who he is. Which, like, sure, maybe they know the name, they know the legend, but they don't know what he looks like. That to me is like super, like, really. It isn't until he says I'm Kiryu Kazuma that they're like, "What?" Like I don't know. To me, I just don't buy that, especially someone like Tanamura who's supposed to be like this super in touchy, like sort of like hot young guy. Like he knows all about the city and he's a detective or whatever. I guess he's not really a detective. He's like is he a detective? I mean, he's like low level. I don't know what he is, but like he should know about this, especially Akiyama, where it's like Kiryu's actions in Yakuza 1 or why he's so rich in this game. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like it was just like, what? Like you don't know who this is? It's something I can put aside for the sake of plot armor. Like whatever, sure. I guess it got them to fight, in a scene and whatever. But yeah, it was very much like, come on, like you should know who this guy is at this point, especially Tanamura. But yeah. I think carrying over from Yakuza 3, since that was the last one I played, I still don't like the face model. There was a slight uptick in graphics. I think like this game definitely does look slightly better than 3. I think they both still look kind of weird. Um, but like Kiryu's face model, I don't like it, man. He looks so weird. I'm not even a fan of his newer look in the Dragon Engine. Like he has like these like soft like almost like cat-like eyes. He looks very weird. I think to me my favorite is probably Yakuza 1, Kiwami 1, or I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. But I've seen a lot of screenshots from 5. I think in 5 and Yakuza 1 he looks perfect. And he also looks pretty good when he's older in Like a Dragon and stuff like that. But God, in 3 and 4 he just looks so fucking weird, man. I've gotten used to it. Obviously, I've spent like 50 hours in these two games, combined or around there. So at this point, am used to it. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like it. And then also just the running. There being no run button isn't like the biggest deal in the world, but it's definitely like a little bit of a come on, guys. I know these games are sort of early on in the series, and they just I guess didn't think of it. But like really, I don't know. Um, and I guess that's it for like non-spoilers. I'm gonna talk about the ending really quick, and then I'll wrap it up here. I'm liking the series so far, obviously, or else I wouldn't be continuing with it. I don't know when I'm gonna start Yakuza 5. Probably. for a couple weeks. The Switch 2 comes out literally the night I'm filming this. I'm gonna go pick that up, and when I pick that up, one of the first games I'm getting is Yakuza Zero Director's Cut because I want to play that game again. I don't think I want to play through the whole game like in one sitting or anything like that. I'll probably just play it over time, but I do want to sort of refamiliarize myself with Yakuza Zero and play what is going to be the best version of the game. As well as just obviously other Switch 2 stuff coming out. There are some other games like I want to get through Death Stranding and a couple other games I'm playing. If I'll do that, I don't know. But Yakuza 5, I don't want to rush it. Like because I'm playing all these games, sort of, I'm almost marathoning these games in like a year. I'm really I'm cognizant of how I'm pacing myself. I'm not rushing into these games and just speed running them because I don't want to burn myself out because this is an amazing series and I loved Zero and Kiwami 1 and 2 so much that trudging my way through the sort of PS3 era where they were still sort of figuring things out um, is already a little difficult. So I want to make sure that I'm giving these games my all. And when it comes to 4, I liked it a lot more than 3. I don't think it's like amazing, but yeah, I'm really interested to try 5, and I'm very excited to continue my way through the series. So far I've beat 0, Kiwami 1, 2, 3, 4, and Pyro Yakuza. So that is 6 games. Pretty crazy. Honestly, when I play 0, you would not have convinced me that I would have gotten this far, at least this quickly. Um, and I'm looking at my shelf right now because I have all the games physically. I got Yakuza 5, 6, Man Erased His Name, Like a Dragon, and 8. So, and the games just keep getting longer. This one was definitely the longest for me so far. Or actually, no, 0 was longer than this. And there's also Like a Dragon Inshin, which I won't be playing probably for a while because it's not main story or canon or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. See, I like this game. The ending, spoilers real quick. Um, I liked it when they all teamed up. It felt very nice. It felt very satisfying, and I'm interested to see where these characters are going to be in Yakuza 5, especially Akiyama. So, yeah, good game. I'm having fun so far.